Hi there, thanks for checking out our repair channel. We work on a lot of electric fence boxes of multiple brands that are out there now and that used to be out there 40 years ago or plus. We work on pretty much anything and everything related to electric fence. We work on fence chargers of all makes and models of all ages. We give free quotes on everything that comes into us for repair, and we give a 1.5-year repair warranty on everything that we work on as well. So whatever repairs we do to a unit, that repair gets a 1.5-year warranty on it. Lightning damage is included on our warranty, but you can find out a little bit more about what we do if you go to our website, which is fencerfixer.com, and fencer and fixer is spelled with an F as in Frank on both words. So you can check us out there. I'll put a little deal down in the description box down below. You can either copy and paste and put it into your browser, or maybe click on it and see if it takes you there that way. But you can get a hold of us down in the comments area. You can write us a message on our website, go into our contact box there, or our email address is on there as well. You can also call or text me at any time, and I'll help you that way. On repairs and troubleshooting and everything. We do sell parts from time to time to people that want to do the repair themselves. Sometimes it works out for the better for them, because then they'll save money on shipping and a little labor and all that kind of fun stuff. But sometimes a unit's just a little too far gone to figure out over the phone, and it's just best to send something to us to work on. There's been a few times that we've worked on, or that we've been helping somebody on the phone. We think we had it down to what we thought was wrong based on how the customer over the phone was describing the problem, what they were able to test. They don't always have all the right equipment to test certain parts correctly. So sometimes it's a guessing game. We try to do the best we can on guessing, and sometimes we strike out. We'll send them the part that they believe and that we believe is the issue. It helps, but then doesn't solve the problem all the way. Then they got to call us back and say, hey, it's doing this now, it's better, but still not working right, or that didn't solve the problem at all. So now we're like, well, now what do we do? So sometimes it's we'll still work with you on trying to still figure it out. Or if it comes down to that situation, what some people will do, they'll send us the unit along with that new part that they sent to us. If they end up if their unit didn't need that new part that they ordered from us, we'll reimburse them for the part, and then we'll fix what needs to be fixed, and then we'll charge accordingly. Or if there's a difference in price between the parts needed versus the parts that they bought, we'll offset it, by just making them pay the difference. Or if they're paying more on the part they ordered versus what the repair was, we'll reimburse them the difference in the repair cost. So that way they're not, losing any money. We work with everybody on everything. We're not here to, to get one over on anybody. We're here to help you, do the repair, send us the repair. Anything we can on when it comes to the repair side of things. But anyways, back to this repair. This is just going to be a testing video showing a Kencove KF6000. This is one of their remote control compatible units. Kencove does not physically make this unit. This is made by Agritronics, or Power Wizard is their main brand. This is the unit that Kencove sells. It's basically a Power Wizard internally, just a different colored front case. The Kencove, or the Power Wizard, and the Dare units are black on the front with a different sticker. This just happens to be one that Power Wizard and those guys make for Kencove. So Kencove does not make this unit; they just sell it. But it's a pretty slick unit. It's remote control compatible, but you have to use the correct remote control for this unit. You can't just get a remote control for another brand like a Stay Fix or a Gallagher or Speed Ride or whatever. You have to use the Kencove one that's made for this, because their technologies are different. They don't talk to one another basically. So this is one that we worked on. Excuse me. We worked on for a customer. So we'll show you how it's working and all that fun stuff. This has 3 lights that flash on it. Has that light there in the center, right there. It's hard to see because it's a little bitty LED in there. Then it has these 2 lights that flash. This light, this red light, the red usually doesn't flash too often. I think because it says check and it's flashing on the ground side because there's no ground hooked up to it. So that's why that is happening. I think. Or it's supposed to flash, I don't know. But anyways, we get a few of these in for repair, these KF6000. They make a KF13000, I think it's a 13 output joule unit. So right now it is putting out about 6,000 volts, which is where it's supposed to be. Let's see if we can do a spark jump on this. This has a pretty nice zap to it, 6 output joules. So it's stored joules, probably 10. And you see it puts out a pretty healthy spark. So people ask, well, how do you do that spark test? Because some people will take the screwdrivers or whatever they're using and they'll touch them together. And like, well, it gets a little bit of spark and then it stops. It stops sparking. Well, you don't want to touch them together. You want to touch one terminal and then get real close to the other one. It's like a spark plug. But you get too close together, spark won't be very big because you're getting that gap too close. The farther away, the bigger it jumps. But you can only go so far away because some units don't have enough power to jump that gap as far. Like a little half joule unit, something pretty small, the spark won't be very big, brightness wise, and it won't be a very big gap either. So the brighter the spark or the bigger the gap or vice versa, the stronger the unit's running. Some people can do the same kind of test if you have it on. If you don't have a fence tester and you got a unit hooked up to the fence and ground, you can do a similar kind of test if you've got a you got T-posts on the fence that you got insulators holding the hot wire off the T-post. You can take a screwdriver or a hammer or a pair of pliers that's got good insulation on the handles. You can lean one part of the metal part of it on the hot wire and get to a bare spot of metal, whether it's rusted or not. Put it right up, close to that bare spot on the T-post, and you can see it shoot a spark that way. You can also, if you got a gate running across, where you bring your animals through or bring equipment through, you can, if your hot wire is close enough, and you can get a piece of wire, jumper wire that you can that's insulated and stripped off on the ends. You can touch the hot wire with one end of that and get close to that gate, because that gate's usually, not all of them, usually there's got a bar on one end of it. It's going into the ground where it swivels at. Then you can run over and find a bare spot of metal there and see it spark that way. So that's another way to do it. But especially if you don't have a fence tester to test the fence, that's another way to do it. Another way you can test your electric fence if you don't have a fence tester, and you can say you're using fiberglass post or something like that. It's kind of hard during the winter time when everything's froze over and the grass isn't real long. You can, if it's in the spring or summertime, if you're able to do this, you can grab a long piece of like a 6-inch piece of green blade of grass, grab that, hold that in one hand with your index finger and your thumb at one end of it, and then you'll see the blade of grass is that long. Take the other end, squat down to a knee to bypass your shoes or your boots, especially if they're rubber soled, and lay the other end of the blade of grass on the hot wire itself. And depending on the strength of the unit, you might feel it right away, or you might have to push that blade of grass inwards, and you may end up getting about that far close to your fingertip before you finally feel that pulse. But what that's going to do, that green blade of grass will eat up about 90% of that shock in that green blade of grass. So you'll feel So sometimes if it's a hard enough unit, you'll feel it right away, and it won't hurt you, but you'll definitely pull your hand back in a hurry. But it won't be near the power that you would feel if you put your bare hand on there. But you'll feel it in your hand. You might feel up your arm a little bit, or you might feel it just in your fingertips. Be a little pulse every time a unit clicks and flashes and puts the pulse on the line. That's when you'll feel that pulse through their fingertips. But that's another little old school way of testing your electric fence, as with the green blade of grass, about 6 inches long, give or take. Pinch it in one hand, lay the other end on the blade of grass, or on the fence, and let it pulse. And if you don't feel it, slowly move that blade of grass inwards, and eventually you should feel it. It'll vary on how much you'll feel and how much grass you need to push inwards on the fence line is based on the strength of the unit. So the bigger a unit, the more you're going to feel it. If it's a real big unit, I would use a fence tester or get a screwdriver or a hammer or something and lean up against the T-post and do it that way. Because a big one, even like a 10 joule or a 5 joule or whatever, or bigger, will still be fairly unpleasant. It won't, especially a great big one. I've been hit by 10 and 12 joule units doing that kind of test with a blade of grass, and it is still, it's 90% of the shock's dissipated, but you'll still feel it. You'll still get a pretty good jolt, So it still won't be very comfortable at all. So that's just a old school way that people used to do and still do today for testing electric fence without a fence tester. But hopefully you like this video. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel. If you got a Kencove unit or you got any other brand or model of electric fence box that needs to be worked on, we'd be happy to take a look at it for you. Again, free quotes. We work on anything and everything related to electric fence units and everything, whether they're 60 plus years old or they're made a couple days ago. We work on anything. But until we do another repair video or testing video or just an explanation of how things work on these things, we will see you guys later.